Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2018 found footage anthology film, The Fear Footage. The film is written, directed and stars Ricky Umberger. Right, okay, now this is structured very much like the VHS films, and I think, to be honest, it knows that. It's not pretending to be anything different than that. So it kind of sets itself around the wraparound story of a police officer whose body cam footage was discovered the morning after he said he was investigating a house. Now, when they found the footage, which is shown in this film, they also discovered that there was no house there, what he was investigating. So it's a complete and utter mystery. Now, what basically happens is, as this police officer is walking through this property with his body cam footage going and stuff, shouting out this, that and the other for people to let themselves be known and what have you, he comes across these like VHS tapes that he plays that kind of show the rest of the films in this sort of thing. So it is very much like VHS, especially the first one in regards to that. But that doesn't necessarily make it a lesser movie. Right, so I'll talk a little bit about each of the stories and give you my thoughts on them. But I just want to say, first off, I thought this was a fantastic found footage film. Where have these films been all my life? Absolutely loved this. Really, really did. It was creepy. It ticked all the boxes. There's some really, really tense, frightening moments here, and there's some frightening sequences, I suppose is the best way to put it, that will literally have you, soiling yourself at times. Very, very well made. And I don't know if it was just this one, because this one taps into a lot of people's fears, and certainly some of them here tapped into some of mine, and I just thought they were very, very clever in what they did. So like I say, so we've got the found footage formula going here. We've got the wraparound story, which is the police officer's body cam footage that you start off with, but it also ends the film, and it's an extended sequence, if you like. So the first one we get is, I can't remember the name of it now, but essentially it's a little boy, I think he's 10 years old. It's his birthday the following day. He's at home with his mum. He's got a party the following morning, but there's been some major stuff going off in regards to murders and stuff. It's all over the news, like clowns and all that kind of stuff. And this boy is increasingly nervous throughout the night, and he keeps waking his mum up, which she's not happy about, but he's convinced that there's something in the house. And obviously I'll leave it there because I don't want to spoil anything else, but that's really it. It's this boy with his camcorder filming what's going on in his house, his mum getting cross with him because she just wants him to go to sleep, and he's fairly sure that there's something in the house that shouldn't be. It's a very well done film, this one. It taps into your fears, like clowns especially, but also, that feeling that you've got when you just think you're being watched or something's there. Well, you get that as well here as well. It was pretty well done, I thought, with some pretty frightening moments in it. The next one is called Storm Chasers. Now, this is a group of guys who, as a hobby, essentially chase storms. They'll get all their equipment together, they'll find out where these storms are happening, and then we'll head to these storms. And it's a thing, I suppose, in America. We don't have anything like that in the UK. However, as they're heading to their location, they have an accident. They stop the car, get out, which essentially leads them into, how do you describe it? A horrific situation. There's cultism, there's demonic creatures, there's all manner of things happening to them in this story, and there's a couple of moments in this where, you know what I mean, my heart was in my mouth, being chased down a darkened corridor by this thing. that you couldn't describe really. It doesn't look anything like anything you've ever seen before. It looked like a giant vampire crossed with a zombie sort of thing. It was very, very horrible looking. But it mixes a few things here again that taps into your fears really, really well, and I enjoyed this one. It kind of made you think that it were going to be one thing, and then it completely changes to something else. Very good. Now the next one was called, I think it was called Speak No Evil, and it's about this guy who lives in this apartment, and behind these apartments is like a big wooded area that's got a really dark past. There was some kind of cult activity there years ago. And he's convinced he can hear voices there during the night. His partner doesn't believe him, and she thinks he's back on drugs and he's got a history of that, so she walks away, leaving him to it. And he continues to kind of record these voices, and it leads to something that's connected actually to his past that is very, very sinister indeed. Again, arguably the weakest story, but there was still some good moments here, if I'm being honest, that worked really, really well. But yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. And then it finishes with, like I say, this cop's body cam footage. Now, this was probably the most frightening bit of the lot. Because it's all in darkness. It's all like through body cam footage. You've got this terrified cop holding his gun out, walking through this house, experiencing increasingly freaky and bizarre activity. Things chasing him, weird, horrific noises. And it's like, I don't know, it was so tense. And I could sense the fear and the absolute genuine fear from this police officer's voice and stuff. It just felt very genuine and felt very real. And I always find that in found footage films, when the person who is being filmed or holding the camera is like beyond terrified and it doesn't feel like they're acting, I think they've nailed it. So I don't know if he knew what was happening, if it was it was almost like, walking through one of these haunted attractions, but the attractions are real, because that's what he was doing. He was walking through this house, and it seemed like every corner he went round, something new was after him. So I would imagine that's kind of the best way to describe what was happening to him at the end of this film. It was very well done. I think this was a really brilliant found footage anthology film that's obviously been done on a shoestring budget. I'd never heard of these films up until very, very recently. I believe there is at least 2 more, and he's got another one out now, The Man with the Black Umbrella or something like that I think I don't know if it's a continuation or if it's just another of his films. But I am well on board. I am definitely going to be checking out the next 2 at least, because if they're anything like this, I'm really looking forward to it. So if you've never seen the Fear footage, you like found footage, you like anthology films, definitely worth checking out this one. I was super, super impressed. So thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.